I love that Ty is sharing about him editing on his lunch break and working on his novel on the lunch break. So I had a job where I was working like 40, 60 hours, relentless, Monday through Friday kind of office job. And I was always the last one to clock out half the time, with the last supervisor and the lead rep half the time. And after a couple months of being there, and they all knew I was an author, right? And I designed books. Typesetting is my thing. If you've ever seen the inside of a Valerie Willis book or any of the Four Horsemen books or anyone I've worked with, you'll notice that the inside of these books are very pretty, and that's my jam. But Bree stopped by and she says, "There's no way you're still writing your novel." And I said, "Oh yeah, I am." She says, "When? You gotta be tired. I know I'm tired when I leave here." And I'm like, "Oh no, I absolutely crash." I said, "But Sunday mornings I like to write, but more importantly, I write on my lunch break." And she says, "You can't get much done on lunch break." I know, and I always tell people this, even if you don't practice writing sprints, doing writing sprints and at least acknowledging how much you can do in a 10, 20-minute or even 5-minute span is vital for planning those little moments between, right? And I said, look, it's the average person, if you reserve 20 minutes of your lunch break or 10 minutes of your lunch break, let's do 10 minutes. If you reserve 10 minutes of your lunch break out of the 30 minutes to writing, thinking about writing or trying to write or edit, but let's say writing, most people can do anywhere between 150 to 350 words in 10 minutes. I said, and let's say you only get to do it on your lunch break. That's 5 days a week. Hold on. I need a calculator. Because I'm not going to be able to manage these numbers. I was not born a mathematician. Authors should never do math. All right. So if the average person, I said, let's say you do 200, right? In the middle. Times 5 days. That's 1,000 words. Now, 1,000 words, depending on what you're writing. If you're writing a web novel, you only need 1,200 words and that's usually a really good spot to be for a web novel. All right. And then if you're writing more sapphic, more romancy, you probably want to aim closer to 1,500 to 3,000 words, right? And we're also talking about formula writing. Not everyone has to write to these numbers, but these numbers are help you indicate how far you can go when you break it down like this. And that's what when I coach people, this is how I help coach them. So if you're writing about 1,000 to 1,200 words per week, you're writing about a chapter or two per month. And then, so that's per week. And let's say, okay, there's 52 weeks in a year. Let's don't count the week of New Year's. Let's not count the week of Christmas or Thanksgiving, because those are the U.S. major holidays. And let's throw in a week for summer. So let's take 4 off of that. And so if we look at, 52 minus 4, 48. So 1,000 words per week times 48. What do you know? You're at 48,000. And you'll probably keep writing sometimes or write on the weekend. So you can write a novel, 50,000 NaNoWriMo. You can write a standard novel word count on a lunch break in a year. So why aren't you writing that novel you always wanted to write on a lunch break? So that's why I wanted to piggyback stitch off of Ty. I love you, Ty. I can't wait to hang out with you again. But yeah, do not be afraid to use 20-minute intervals in your life, because you will be amazed of what you can achieve in a year's time with those stolen moments. I know there's roughly 20 minutes between my washer and dryer, and I usually get them going, and then I sit down until the one beeps so I can flip the load, right? I know my dishwasher takes 3 hours, so I know I can really get some stuff done. Granted, I have a house husband who does all the awesome stuff at home, so thank you. I love you, husband.